The 2025 season comes to an end for our Denver Broncos. Let's talk about it. What's up, Broncos country? My name is Brandon Gilchrist. The Super Bowl is just around the corner, and unfortunately this time around, our Denver Broncos got this close, but it wasn't to be. I want to take a look back at this season, talk about some things that went well, some things that didn't go so well, what I'm excited about going forward, and just some of the changes that I would ultimately like to see for this team, this roster, as we head towards the offseason. I think for many of us, the fact that our Broncos ended up in the AFC Championship is exceeding expectations, and I agree. For me, heading into the 2025 season, after the Broncos made the postseason for the first time in a decade in 2024, my expectation was that they win a playoff game, and that's about it. Anything on top of that was gravy. As the season began to go along, I'm not gonna lie, my expectations continued to grow. I mean, when a team wins 11 in a row, how can you not start to think what's possible beyond just winning one playoff game, right? Now, I want to look at each phase of the team and really talk about change from 2024 to 2025 in their performance and whether I think that's a talent gap, a scheme or time in the scheme opportunity, or something we just want to maintain. Starting with the defense, the Broncos defense saw some significant improvement from their 2024 performance to their 2025 performance. The Broncos defense went from being ranked 7th in 2024 to being ranked 2nd overall in 2025. They made huge improvements when it came to points allowed per game, going from ranked 11th to being ranked 3rd. They maintained top 5 performance in red zone and third downs, as well as pressure rate on the quarterback. When it came to stopping the run, the Broncos really excelled in this area. And there really wasn't much difference between 2024 and 2025 performance. They were ranked 3rd in 2024 and ended up ranked 2nd in 2025. Coming out of the 2024 season, the biggest opportunity for the Broncos were stopping runs right up the middle of the defense. And they made some serious improvement in this space in 2025. I still think there's some improvement to be made here. Being able to stop mobile QBs from gashing our defense right up the middle and maintaining gap discipline is still an opportunity for this team. This is something I would love to see shored up in the 2026 season, with our cage rush getting to the quarterback even faster or maintaining those gaps until help can arrive. When it comes to pass coverage, this was a huge improvement for the Broncos from their 2024 season when they were ranked 19th to their 2025 season, ultimately being ranked top 10 at 7th. You saw Riley Moss's game improve. You saw Jaquan McMillan really take the challenge of Jahdae Barron being drafted in the first round and rising the level of his game. You also saw Pat Surtain do what Pat Surtain does. With the additions of Talanoa Hufanga, along with Dre Greenlaw, you saw vast improvement when it comes to pass coverage for our defense. With the Vance Joseph defense, there's sort of this notion that tight ends find a lot of success in the defense, and I think the Broncos even saw some improvement here when they played the Cowboys, who were the number 1 offense coming into Denver and completely shutting out Jake Ferguson. Even just recently in the divisional round against the Bills, who had 2 formidable tight ends in Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid, the Broncos limited their ability on the field as well. So there's been some improvement when it comes to tight end coverage for the Broncos. And frankly, this is an area where I think it's time in the system, time in the scheme, because the Broncos run a lot of man match and zone match, that there's a lot of handing off of route running. There's a lot of times where tight ends can sit in certain spaces where the Broncos are passing off coverage responsibilities that I think just time in the system could help improve. And I think the fact that Vance Joseph is returning for the 2026 season is a big freaking deal. Players love playing in this system, and having another year together, for Dre Greenlaw to have another year in the system, for Talanoa Hufanga to have another year in the system, and for the core of the defense to be returning, I think that's going to do wonders for this defense in 2026. This type of continuity could ultimately result in the defense being the strength of the Broncos once again in 2026. Now, some of the biggest opportunities for the Broncos, only getting 14 turnovers in 2025 resulted in them being ranked 28th in takeaways. They stepped it up in the divisional round against the Bills, creating 5 turnovers in that game. But the AFC Championship game, once again, resulted in 0. Part of that being because the Patriots went extremely conservative in the second half due to the blizzard that came in. This is the biggest opportunity to take this defense to the next level in 2026 and make it, frankly, unstoppable. When I look at free agency or the draft, the areas that I'm looking at for improvement here and potential upgrade would be at the linebacker position. The combinations of Dre Greenlaw, Justin Chernod, Alex Singleton were great, but I still think there's some opportunity when it comes to lateral, side to side, covering running backs out of the backfield that just doesn't seem to be a strength for our linebackers at this moment. And I think an upgrade needs to happen here. I'm not sure that time in the scheme would change anything. I think this is a talent thing. And we need to add a linebacker or 2 that have the ability to cover those running backs out of the backfield and get sideline to sideline at a much quicker rate. Some nice to haves on this defense would be at defensive line as well as defensive back. I think when it comes to D-line, we may be losing Jonathan Franklin Myers in this offseason. He's one of the only core guys on the defensive line that hasn't been assigned to an extension, and I do think he's due a payday. And even though the Broncos will have much larger cap space coming into the 2026 season, now not having to hold on to the Russell Wilson contract, I do think they're going to have to be strategic around where they spend money, and I'm just not sure if they're going to put even more money in the defensive line. So this means either another free agent or potentially drafting someone or seeing some improvement from the folks that have already been drafted, like an Arazarike, filling in with the JFM departure. With the defensive back, I'm always okay with drafting defensive backs. I don't think you can have enough of them, especially with how offenses attack these days. You're in a lot of nickel, you're in a lot of dime packages, meaning you've got 6 defensive backs on the field, and that's where you see a team's defensive depth challenged. And for the Broncos in 2025, ended up being a strength for us when it came to pass coverage, and why we saw such big improvement. Even when opposing offenses tried to stretch us out, it didn't matter. We were still able to cover. When we look at the offense, the Broncos saw overall improvement in total offense in 2025, even though they faced some struggles. They went from being ranked 19th in 2024 to being ranked 10th in 2025. You saw the Broncos ultimately be able to move the ball better between the 20s and 2025. What's interesting to note is that their red zone performance did drop from 7th in 2024 to 13th in 2025, along with their points per game dropping from 10th to 14th. So this is an opportunity for the Broncos. When we look at the running game, that was J.K. Dobbins. And when he went out after 10 games, the running game virtually disappeared. And it was all on Bo Nix's legs and his arm to carry this offense. And this is something you hear from people that don't actually watch the Broncos, thinking that Bo Nix is benefiting from a bunch of run after catch, which is absolutely not the case. Most of the time, our receivers catch the ball where they are and fall to the ground or are tackled. There is not a lot of run after catch happening for the Denver Broncos over the last 2 years. And this is a huge opportunity for this team. Playmakers. The Broncos need more playmakers. And though I'd like to see J.K. Dobbins remain on this team for the 2026 season, I still think we either need to see improved performance from R.J. Harvey or an additional running back added to this room that can bring some more reliability in the running game. It can't just be on the quarterback's shoulders. The frustration that we had in 2024 remained in 2025 when it came to the run game. And surprise, surprise here, the Broncos were ranked 16th in 2024 and 16th again in 2025. When it came to the passing game, you saw the offense improve with additions of Pat Bryant and the emergence of Troy Franklin in 2025. They went from being ranked 20th in 2024 to being ranked 11th in 2025. With that being said, the Broncos ended up being ranked 2nd in drops this season, and that just can't happen. As much as I love Troy Franklin, I love Pat Bryant, I love Courtland Sutton, and Evan Ingram, every last one of them had drops at frustrating times, killing the momentum of this offense. And clearly it was a frustration for Sean Payton as well, with the departure of Kerry Colbert, the wide receivers coach. In the end of season press conference, Sean Payton went out of his way to talk about the way to catch a football, which tells you a lot. He sees some of the reason for the challenges and up and down performance that the offense experienced being the fact that not one pass catcher put out a consistent performance from week to week. And this is where I talk about the Broncos needing a playmaker. As for Bo Nix, though once again he started out slow in 2025, you saw steady improvement from him from week to to week. And the Broncos had a grind of a schedule this year. Bo Nix's toughest performance definitely came after a trip to Philly, going out of the country, then coming back for a Thursday night game and playing a division opponent. But coming out of that game and a mini bye, from there on, the dude was slinging it. Culminating in his performance in the AFC Championship game, which is a performance I think we all are looking forward to seeing more regularly in the 2026 season. Bo Nix's elite skills as it stands right now are not in the sexy category. His role with our defense being what leads this team is to make sure that he protects the football. And make no mistake, Bo is elite at protecting the football. He's not going to put the ball in harm's way. He's not going to take sacks. And though these aren't sexy things, you saw the difference, particularly in the AFC Championship game, whether it was Drake May's performance or Jarrett Stidham's performance, or some of the other teams in the wild card round and divisional matchup. You see what that looks like. And would you like Bo to take more risks here and there? I get that. I absolutely get that. And sometimes I feel that way. The way this team was constructed, especially in 2025, was for Bo to go win it when we needed him to, and to protect the ball and allow our defense to lead the way. Eventually that transition will happen where our defense is a complement to the offense versus our offense being a complement to the defense. But that wasn't the theme of 2025. I believe that Bo Nix is on a trajectory of making defenses wrong no matter what they do. He can use his legs, he has the arm, and he has the smarts. His competitiveness, commitment to the grind, and his ability to lead and connect with everybody on his team. And you can't argue that he carried the offense, especially when JK went out. It's still heartbreaking that he wasn't able to finish what he started with this team in 2025. But it makes me so excited for the future. Overall, this offense does need improvement. And I'm really interested to see what Davis Webb being elevated to offensive coordinator means for this team. I'm excited the Broncos were able to retain him, especially when it comes to continuity for Bo's development. When we look at free agency and the draft focus, to me, there's needs all over the place for the Broncos offense, starting with the offensive line. An O-line, QB, and running back all work together in harmony. But I still think there's a talent upgrade that needs to happen on the offensive line, particularly at our left guard spot. Too often there was pressure coming from this spot, or blocks weren't being executed to their fullest. So I would like to see an upgrade here, whether that's in the draft or free agency. I also think there's an opportunity at running back. Whether this is completely overhauling the room, with the exception of RJ, and bringing in all different running backs, or retaining RJ, JK, and adding more uniform depth behind them. Too often, the running backs were all placed into very specific roles, and I think we need more all-around backs like a J.K. Dobbins in that room. Now, RJ could develop into that. Sean Payton has repeatedly said that they drafted RJ for his running abilities, but his impact in 2025 truly came from his involvement in the pass game more than the run game. In his second year, that's where I will be looking for improvement from him. He's got to be able to pass block, and he's got to be able to read the gaps between the tackles much better in 2026. The tight end room befuddles me. We added somebody like Evan Ingram, who's clearly a playmaker, but was all around just disappointing in 2025. Sometimes it was him dropping really easy catches, but making the hard ones. And sometimes it was him being completely missed in this offense, and you could see him open. I don't know what's missing here. I don't know if this is a Bo seeing him thing. I just don't know. But it does seem like we need more talent in the tight end room. Not just for blocking, but being able to get open for their quarterback. For any of the proficient offenses out there, the tight end is a key cog in that equation. And I just don't think the Broncos have it right now. And then finally, in the wide receiver room, we need to add someone to complement Courtland Sutton. I don't know if it exists in the room now or needs to be added through the draft or free agency, but a reliable, consistent pass catcher that will go and get the football, that will make awkward catches, that will make plays after they've caught the ball, does not exist on the Broncos right now. So this is an upgrade opportunity for us. And I'd love to say we have the talent in the room, but after 2 years of seeing this group together, with the exception of Pat Bryant, I don't know that it exists in this room, and I think it's an ad. When we look ahead to our free agent and restricted free agents overall, there are some free agents that we may be losing in this offseason, including Jonathan Franklin Myers, Alex Singleton, J.K. Dobbins, and Justin Strnad. In terms of restricted free agents, Jaquan McMillan and Alex Palczewski are restricted free agents. To me, of that list of talent, there's one clear priority to me, and that's Alex Palczewski, who I think is a great depth piece. He's stepped in on multiple occasions now in various positions on the offensive line and performed admirably like you want to back up to. So retaining Alex Palczewski should be a priority. The second one is a maybe for me, and that's J.K. Dobbins. He's never finished a season, whether that was by luck or by an injury. Either way, if he's retained, I still think you have to add another running back like him to make sure that the running game maintains regardless of if he's in the game or not. It shouldn't just drop off a cliff because he's out. Our Broncos had a great 2025, and I absolutely believe this was a successful season, even if it did end in heartbreak and a bit of disappointment. Our Broncos are on the right trajectory. This journey is just getting started. Lastly, I want to say thank you to you all for watching these videos this year. I've wanted to have my own space for sharing my thoughts on the Broncos during the season for a long time, and I went back and forth on doing something like this. I'm not a big social media person, and putting myself out there for just anybody to see and comment on is not typically my style, but I love the Broncos. I love talking about the NFL, and I love interacting with people who are as passionate about the NFL and their team as I am. The fact that people watched is just kind of cool, and it's been fun to comment back and forth, to root for the team, and to talk smack to a few people out there as well during the season. Who knows where this goes, but I'm excited to keep experimenting with it. And let me know if there's a topic that you'd like me to cover. I may try to do some live streams next year, but we'll see. That's still kind of up in the air for me. For now, I'm still going to try to post something about once a week, depending on the topics that come up. Free agency is right around the corner, so I'll have some thoughts on that. Again, thank you for watching these videos. It means a lot to me, and I love hearing from you all. I'm excited to head into the offseason and see where our Broncos improve. But let me know what your thoughts are about the season in the comments. Until next time, be kind. Talk to you soon, Broncos country.